Hello. Hi, everyone. How are you today? Coming at you live a little bit earlier than normal. So hopefully we can catch some of you who haven't been able to catch the weekly live videos elsewhere. So today, we're going to be talking about interfacing. So I know we did touch on interfacing a little bit a couple weeks ago, but we've actually had quite a few questions coming in lately that revolved around the topic of interfacing. Um, it's kind of a topic that has a lot of mystery in it. So we're going to be talking about that today. Before I get started, I am streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and into our Facebook group. If you aren't a member of our exclusive Facebook group and you're watching somewhere else, you can join that group by going to sewwhatbox.com/group. And that will redirect you to the Facebook group, and we have lots of fun conversations in there about sewing. So do go join that. Also, I am testing a new internet setup today. So hopefully this video is a lot more clear than it has been in the past. I'm hardwired into internet instead of using Wi-Fi. So if you are watching this either live or in the replay, if you could comment below and let me know if the quality seems all right or if we're still having issues. I know sometimes it skips in and out. That would be super helpful. That way I can tell if this is a good internet setup. Oh, okay. So another fun thing that I want to mention, let's see, another thing that I want to mention is over the last couple months, we have been testing out a new fabric source in our Sew What Box Club. So if you are a Sew What Box member, we want to know what you think. So go ahead and comment below on what you like or didn't like about the fabrics that you've gotten the last couple of months. We've been able to have a lot more say over the prints and quality of those. So any feedback is greatly appreciated, and we'll be able to use that to actually make changes in the fabric moving forward. So if you can let us know what you think, then we can start improving. But it's been kind of fun to be able to offer exclusive fabric prints for you guys. That is really awesome. Okay, so like I said, we've been asking you guys for input on topics that we should talk about in these Wednesday tip videos for a while. And one thing that we've been hearing a lot about this last week or so is interfacing. Now, there's a lot of different things we can talk about interfacing, and we can get really into the weeds on some things. But I'm going to try to just give you a general overview of that topic today so that you will be armed with knowledge to be able to go confidently use interfacing. Um, okay, before we get into that quick tutorial, if you are a sewing club member and you receive our monthly shipments of sewing goodies, go check your email inbox. We got a special product in that we are offering at a big discount to you guys. It's exclusive to those of you who are sewing club members, and we only sent that out via email to you. So check your inbox if you haven't seen that and you want to see what good deal we found for you. Okay, so interfacing. The thing that we hear a lot is, do you have to use interfacing in everything you make? No, you don't. A lot of people will try to tell you that you have to put interfacing in everything. That is not correct. It depends on what you want the finished product to be like. So I'm going to show you some stuff that I have here that have interfacing and don't have interfacing. So this bag has no interfacing, and you can see it's pretty flexible. Interfacing is used to make things more stiff or sturdy. So if I needed this bag to like stand up, like maybe it was a bag or a basket, like those fabric baskets that we want to stand up and have some rigidity, then you would need to use interfacing. If you don't want to use interfacing, the other option would be to use a stiffer fabric like a duck cloth or a canvas. So basically, interfacing is used to make a less stiff fabric more stiff. So you've always have another option other than interfacing, which is just to get stiffer fabric. But all of these things that I'm going to be showing you today, just using normal quilting cotton. And so for to stiffen up that quilting cotton, we often use interfacing. And that just works to make it stiffer. And if you can remember that, then that's all you need to know about interfacing. So, for instance, another one that doesn't have interfacing is this bag. But you can see it's floppy enough that if I tried to stand it up, it just folds over. So if you wanted this to be like more like a basket and you wanted it to hold its shape better, then you would need some kind of interfacing on the inside. Now, here are two examples that will help show the difference a lot better. So both of these are, let's see this one this side up. See, it's a pumpkin. Both of these are placemats. So like, you put this on your table and then you put your plate and everything on there. This one has interfacing. You can see if I hold it right in the middle and let go, it kind of holds its shape. So it's more stiff. It's this one, if I hold it up in the middle and let go, it completely wrinkles down. So look at these two next to each other. See how the white one is a lot more stiff than this one? That is the difference of interfacing. And these are the same fabric types. The only difference is this white one has a very lightweight interfacing inside and this one has nothing. So even lightweight interfacing can make a big difference. Now, just because this one looks stiffer and this one looks more floppier doesn't mean that you always need to put interfacing into your placemats. And the reason why I didn't put interfacing into this one is because you just lay it down flat on the table, and once you smooth it out on the table, it doesn't need to be stiff, it's just gonna lie there flat. It doesn't have to stand itself up, where something like this bag, if I wanted it to keep its shape, it's not gonna lie flat on a table. If I wanted to put it on something and let it stand up, this has no interfacing, so it flops over, but if I wanted it to stand up, I would need that stiffener. So just again to show you like the difference. White one has interfacing. See how it's a lot stiffer and straight, and this one doesn't have interfacing and it's a lot more floppy. Now, okay, if you've decided that your project does need interfacing, how do you know what kind of interfacing to get? There's all kinds at Joann's or probably any craft store you go to. Now what I usually do when I go and buy interfacing in person is I kind of take it a little bit off the, roll and I feel it, and whatever stiffness I'm looking for, that's the kind I buy because, I tell what I want by how I feel. For instance, here's a couple different kinds of interfacing. You can see this one, if I hold it in the middle and let go, it's like stiff as a rod. This one, if I hold it in the middle and let go, it drapes, kind of like the difference between those two placemats I just showed you. So some interfacings are very light and some are stiff. Now, believe it or not, this really light interfacing is all that I put in this placemat that makes it so much stiffer. So you need when you're feeling these, you also need to take into account the thickness of the material you're putting it behind because it will stiffen up a little bit more than this once you actually use it. However, I'm dropping stuff all over. Hold on. Okay, however, you can get a feel, right? This is going to be a lot stiffer than this. Now, is there a rule of thumb on what you should do? Yes. You shouldn't put a really, really stiff interfacing behind a really lightweight fabric. That's usually a no-no, especially if you're trying to make clothing. Now, if you're making something that's more like a craft item, like a keychain that you want to be really stiff, that's where we can kind of break the rules a little bit on this. But most of the time, you are going to want to match weight to weight. And you can tell, right? Everybody talks about lightweight fabric, medium weight fabric, heavyweight fabric. So a lightweight fabric would be like chiffon, something that's kind of see-through or very fragile. A medium weight fabric is something like quilting cotton. Quilting cotton is usually a medium weight fabric. A heavyweight fabric is going to be something like you would do for home decor, or like a denim is a heavyweight, or a duck cloth or a canvas. Those are all going to be heavyweight. And if you think about a denim or a canvas, you can notice that something that is this lightweight probably isn't going to add any stability to that since that fabric is so heavy. So for those heavy fabrics, if you want to add stiffness, you usually need to use something that's a lot more stiff like this. So that's kind of the thought there. Now, this is very important if you are doing, like I mentioned, apparel. So like a cowboy button-up shirt or a blouse, you have those stiffened collars. You don't want to make that out of a lightweight fabric and put a really stiff interfacing in there to stiffen that out, or your collar will just stick out. I mean, it would look like a clown collar, so maybe if you're going for that, it is almost Halloween, that would be good. But we want to match weight to weight. Now, when you're in the store looking at things, on the end of bolts, let me see if I have a bolt of interfacing. Hold on. There we go. I wasn't prepared for this. I just thought of it. So on the end of the bolt, usually, I guess not. I thought that it would tell you the weight. Well, on the end here, you can see all this information. You can see that this one says apparel interfacing right here. Now, that's usually going to be a little bit lighter weight because, like I said, people don't want to be walking around in upholstery stiff fabric like a clown. So you can look at these. Some options do say medium weight, lightweight. I know I've seen that in the store, but I think that that's usually in the sew-in ones or the craft interfacing. But if you're buying online and if you go into the store and it doesn't say lightweight or medium weight, you can do this, right? And feel it. And then that answers your question. But if you're in a situation where you have to shop online, You obviously can't feel it. So how are you gonna know? Usually in the description of the interfacing, it will tell you if it's a medium weight, lightweight, heavyweight, and you're gonna want to match weight to weight. So if you're working with heavyweight fabric, you're gonna want heavyweight interfacing. So that is the trick there. So the two things to remember about interfacing. Number one, you do not need interfacing for every project that you make, only if you need it to be stiffer. And sometimes that means that you put interfacing in part of the project and not the rest of it. Number two, go match weight to weight, fabric to interfacing. And you can do that either by feel or in the description or on the end of the bolt. It should say something like that. Now, the other cool thing that we have worked with before, I don't have any here to show you, is not necessarily interfacing, but in that same section, they have this stuff called fusible fleece. And that works very much like interfacing, except for it's kind of poofy like batting. So like the stuff that they put in between the layers of a quilt. So it's kind of poofy, but you can iron it on and it also stiffens things. So if you're looking for something that will be stiffer and a little bit poofy without having to deal with batting and quilting it all together, I usually like to use this for like little pouches that I make a little bottom on and I want it to stand up and kind of make it look foofy, like it was quilted or something. I'll use that fusible fleece, and that can be used with any weight of fabric. Usually it works best with medium weight fabric just because that fabric isn't too hard. It will let the foofy stuff kind of look through. So, those are my tips for interfacing, and I hope that those helped. If you are still watching and either on the live video or on the replay and you have any questions about interfacing or any comments about interfacing that I didn't get to, please go ahead and leave them in the comments of this video, and I would love to get to them later and answer those and maybe roll them into another follow-up on this topic because it does seem like it's something that a lot of people are interested in or don't know that much about. So, yeah, please leave some comments below. If you missed the first part of this video and you aren't a member of our exclusive Facebook group, you can become a member by going here to sewupbox.com/group. If you are watching in the group, you won't see that it says anything right here, but people watching on the Facebook page or YouTube can see the link typed out on the screen. So if you go there, that'll redirect you right to our Facebook group and you can join and we talk about a lot of fun sewing things. You know, even if you have a question about something sewing or interfacing related, you can post it in there and we will answer. And there's a bunch of other sewists in there as well that would love to answer as well. Okay, guys, I believe that's all that I have for today. So I don't see any comments at the moment. So we'll see if we get any comments coming in replay, and I will see you.